Assalamu alaikum, guys. Sounds like total clickbait, doesn't it? But it's not. Bear with me. I'm going to tell you why I managed to get married without knowing it. So when Muslims get married in Jordan, typically what happens is that the two families will come together and meet formally, and the couple will read Al-Fatiha in front of everybody, and that's like promising yourself socially to each other and in the eyes of God. And then at some point after that, you'll go down to the Sharia courts and you will get legally married, which is called, I'm going to say it wrong, bear with me, Ket Bigtab. I know I'm saying it wrong. And that literally means like writing of the book. And then legally you're married. But socially, you remain engaged until you formally get married in front of people in a wedding ceremony, even though you don't actually sign anything at that point, you are actually married. And then after you have your ceremony, you go home and you live your life and you're just normal married couple. So what happened with me and my husband is that we didn't have the opportunity for our families to come together and for us to read Al-Fatiha in front of everybody and to do it all kind of traditionally and socially acceptable. And so we went down to the courts and we got married. And it was very unceremonious. We went and signed a form, and I think we went and got ice cream afterwards. And then when we came home, everyone gave us kisses and told us Mabruk, and that was kind of the end of it. But we still weren't socially married. So it was acceptable really for me to be in the country and living under the same roof as him with his family, because we were married, but we weren't allowed to, go and get our own house together or anything like that. And still the same kind of social rules applied to us about, male-female proximity and things like that. So we got married in like September, October time. I can't actually remember our anniversary. It was around autumn time. And you know what? We didn't go straight for ice cream. I think the first thing we did was we went to see my husband's grandmother, who I really had a soft spot for and still do. And we knew that she was going to be the happiest. It was going to make her the happiest to hear that we had gone down to the courts and we had got legally married. So we went to see her, and I remember how happy she was. And then I think we went and got ice cream, and then we went home and saw the rest of the family. But that was our priority, was to see her. And then the shocking happened, and not long after we had got married, she passed away, which was incredibly sad because she was a really, really special woman, and she really made a big impression on me when I first arrived here, and I feel like I knew her for a lot longer than I actually did, which is strange because we didn't even speak. I didn't speak a word of Arabic at the time, but she's sometimes you meet people whose hearts are really, really golden. So not long after she had passed away, I made my first trip home to England for Christmas. And while I was there, I was, telling everybody that I was engaged. And then my husband rings me up one day and he says that the family has decided that we're going to observe a year of mourning, which only seemed fitting. And I really respected that decision. And then that means that there's no celebrations, there's no parties or weddings or anything like that. So it was decided that we were going to start announcing that we were married, and we were just going to forego the wedding. That meant that suddenly I was a wife without any warning or anything like that. And it's funny because even though we were married in the courts and I had a wedding band on my finger, I was still really thought of myself as engaged. And then suddenly we're on 2 different continents, and my husband rings me up and he's like, well, you're my wife now. And then suddenly I'm a married woman. But the engagement period, I don't think that's a traditional thing. I think that's quite new. I don't know if it's Islamic or not. So it's interesting to see how all these different influences come together and kind of result in what we know as a Jordanian sort of wedding etiquette, and how there are some loopholes there that we obviously experienced. So anyway, that is my story about how I got married without knowing it. It was a clickbait title, I'll admit it. But anyway, I hope that you enjoyed it, and I hope that you're having a lovely week, and take care. Ma salama, bye.